Do you want to learn everything you need to know about LinkedIn, how to build your business, how to build your brand, how to elevate your career in 2020? You don't want to miss this. We've got a very special guest. It's Nez Nation Live Season 3. You know what you need to do, y'all. You need to come on back. Welcome, welcome one and all to another season. It's a brand new season of Nez Nation Live, the personal branding live stream podcast show where we teach you how to build standout personal brands so you can earn more, grow faster, and stress less. It is I, Professor Nez, your personal branding coach, online business owner, actual business communications professor, keynote speaker, and a whole lot more. I'm so excited. Come on in. Let me know where you're joining me from. I cannot tell you how excited I am about today's show. We're going to have an amazing guest, and I'm going to introduce him in just a second. But I just want to start off by saying Happy New Year, one and all, to all of you. It is 2020, and this is a brand new season of Nez Nation Live, the Personal Branding 101 podcast. This is season 3. We are live right now. As of this recording, it is being recorded here. If you're watching this or listening to this on the replay, it is January 3rd, 2020, and I'm just super excited. We've had 3 seasons now that we've been bringing you the best in how to build your online reputation, how to make sure that you can communicate your purpose, understand and discover what it is at your core, what is your value proposition, and how do you get that across. I'm super excited about today's show because LinkedIn has been a beloved platform of mine since 2007. And ever since LinkedIn Native Video came out in 2017, and now LinkedIn Live just this past year, which I'm an early beta broadcaster, and so is the gentleman I'm going to bring on in about a second. This is a platform that has worked wonders for my business, worked wonders for my brand, my reputation, my online presence. And I'm just super excited to bring to you this amazing guest that we're going to have on. I'm going to introduce him in just a second. But first, I want you to share this out because y'all know sharing is caring. And let me know in the chat where you are joining us from. I want to give shout outs right at the top of the show. I'm so excited. Rita Perea on YouTube. Good to see you. Chaplain Steve on New Year's. Happy New Year from San Diego. Good to see you on Twitch. Fantastic. And by the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast, we want you to be here. We want you to come join us. We want you to be a part of the show. So if you want to be a part of this thriving, amazing Nez Nation community, bring in more humanness to this digitalness, and I can't wait to bring Bryan on, you have to come check us out. So make sure that you subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the hashtag NezNation on LinkedIn, and you won't miss a thing. So make sure that you do that. I have no problem with you listening to the podcast. I have no problem with you watching the replay. But really, I'm all about you guys. I'm all about building a community. I'm all about helping you guys as best as possible. And so I really love seeing you guys in the chat. I love seeing the engagement. I love seeing the activity, the interaction. Live video is a very powerful tool. LinkedIn Live just came out. So I'm extremely excited. So make sure that you come join us on the live stream chat. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce to you our guest here today. Who's ready? Let me know in the chat. Who is ready for our amazing guest that I'm going to bring on right now? Let me introduce you to him. This is going to be an amazing show. You're going to learn a lot. A lot of you, I know you've been thinking about LinkedIn. You've been wondering about LinkedIn. You've maybe heard through the byways and highways about this thing called LinkedIn. You know, I talk a lot about LinkedIn. My entire business and brand practically lives on LinkedIn. Well, I can't think of a better way to kick off season 3 to bring on to you Mr. Bryan Schulman. Bryan is a Forbes featured entrepreneur, LinkedIn top voice. He is the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe. He was named 2019's LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year. He's one of the pioneers and top LinkedIn and LinkedIn Live creators in the world, and he's sought after everywhere as an international speaker. And in July 2019, he broke the LinkedIn Live record, broadcasting live for more than 4 hours. Mr. Bryan Schulman is going to join us in just a second. Bryan, if you're there, make sure you give me a call on Skype. We're ready for you, sir. And so I'm going to bring Bryan in just a second. But before I do, have you guys shared this out? Also, I'd like to add this. That Bryan is going to be, not only are we going to come in and talk about LinkedIn, about how you can take your LinkedIn brand in 2020 to the next level, but Bryan's actually going to be giving out a free giveaway, and it's something juicy. It's something awesome, enticing. It's going to help you big time. So make sure you stick around. Stick around till the latter part of the broadcast, and you're going to love what this giveaway is going to be. So make sure that you stick around. Make sure you share this out, because one of the things about content marketing, and one of the things about making sure that you have a brand, okay, that speaks to who you are, is that you share content too. You don't always have to create content. We've got a ton of videos. We've got a ton of resources at ProfessorNez.com. Go check them out. If you're looking to build your brand, build your online reputation, build your online presence. I use this phrase a lot. I want you to be Netflix, not Blockbuster. You got to go check out all the free stuff, that I have over there on ProfessorNez.com. Hey, Sean Dawson, good to see you. Fantastic. Great to see you. Catherine Rosario Young, great to see you. How are you, Catherine? Let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you so much. From Twitter, very nice. Is that Kathy Fit? I believe that's Kathy Fit, if I stand corrected. And so Bryan's going to jump in here in just a second, and I want you to also let me know in the chat. Okay, here he is. Let's get him in here, folks. All right, there he is, Mr. Schulman. How in the world are you? Welcome to Nez Nation Live.
What's up? Happy New Year. It is awesome to be here with you, Professor Nez.
Oh, man, I'm so excited to have you, brother. Welcome to the show, and this has been a long time coming. We're very, very excited. Tell us a little bit, if you don't mind. It's so good to see you, Bryan. Tell us a little bit, because a lot of people obviously know who you are, but for those of who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of a background on who you are, what you do, and I can't wait to get jumped in all about LinkedIn in just a second. But give us a little background first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have, where to start? I work with founders and C-suite execs who want to find their voice show up and don't know how. So Voice Your Vibe, which is my company, teaches you how to find your voice your vibe, and attract your tribe, and how to tell a story that people will fall in love with through LinkedIn video. And the reason is because it's the heart of it all that matters, right? It's the heart of it all and everything that matters. I have been on LinkedIn for a long time, like yourself. I've actually been on LinkedIn every day for the last 16 years. It's incredible what has happened in just that time alone. And it's been the most phenomenal journey, life-changing, truly life-changing. So, yeah, there's a little bit to get you started.
Oh, man, that's awesome. No, I love it. And this is, I can't. I was saying, as I was saying earlier, I can't wait to get cooking with you, Bryan, and it's really been a long time coming. Being the platform that I just love, and both of us love so much, and it's really taken our lives into the stratosphere. I mean, to be honest with you, because business and life, really, it's hard to separate those two. And when one's going well, usually the other is, and vice versa, right? And I can't think of a better platform for people to really get their reputation out there, get their message out there than LinkedIn right now. And even though it's been kind of gaining a little bit of popularity with a lot of other creators and a lot of businesses, you and I both know that ever since, Microsoft purchased them in 2016, LinkedIn has taken off to a new level. I mean, tell us a little bit. I mean, Bryan, what's your perspective on how LinkedIn has just, what has been happening the last 3 or 4 years? How has this platform evolved? I mean, isn't it just mind-boggling?
It is. It's been an incredible journey, right? In just the last couple of years alone, everything has changed. Most folks, here's some stats, which I think are pretty staggering, right? So I think the reality is most people are looking at LinkedIn, most in the scheme of the numbers I'm about to share, are looking at LinkedIn as a digital resume and a place to look for a job. And the reality is in this business world that we live in, you need to be seen, you need to be heard, right? So there are 655 million business professionals on LinkedIn today. Of those 655 million, there's 250 million active users. And of that, there's 1% that's creating content. LinkedIn is the most organic platform on the planet today. I would say second would be TikTok. I mean, in terms of what's happening right now, right? And there's no better time than now to show up and be present because it's changed. So when you mentioned video launching, it was actually launched in alpha June of 2017. There's something else that happened right at the same time, right? And this was the Let's Get Honest campaign that happened. And I think you probably remember that. And when it popped up, and it was crazy. So if you haven't heard of it, what it was this share stories, right? Share stories, but share stories that are very personal that people don't know about you, right? Get honest. Get honest with you, get honest with your tribe. And people were showing up and talking about fears and failures and speech impediments, agoraphobia, rape. I mean, I'm talking really personal stories, right? The kind of stories that we never heard before on LinkedIn. Like
Right.
It just didn't happen.
Right.
And what happened was at that moment, LinkedIn became human. Right? It
Yes.
became all about the human and the heart, not about the job, the title, the role, the business. It became about the human being. And what I really loved was we saw a generation stand up and use their voice and voice their vibe that had never shown up on this platform before. Right?
I love it.
And I think it's amazing. It truly is. And it's a true testament because even if you look at what's happening now, right, you've got 14-year-old podcasters that are on LinkedIn, right? I mean, you've got so many amazing human beings on this platform that have found a voice and that have stood up, right? And that are sharing these stories. And that's what we relate to. So I think it really is incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, everything.
It's just, I remember first getting on LinkedIn and it just seemed like this. And I think a lot of people, I'm sure you work with plenty of clients. In my business, I work with a lot of clients who are a little bit, not leery, but maybe a little bit skeptical about, this platform because all you hear about, at least prior to 2017 or 2018, was Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, which Snapchat is a whole nother conversation, especially with TikTok sort of usurping Snapchat. It was kind of a platform that was, okay, is this where you go to get a job? Is this the place that you just kind of post your resume? And I mean, the name of the show is Personal Branding 101, live stream podcast show. I've said this before, Bryan, that personal branding is just a phrase. All it really means is 21st century communications. At the top of the show, I said, what I tell my clients, I use this very phrase with my clients, especially when I get on calls with prospective clients. I'm not going to bore you with words like, value proposition and keyword optimization and SEO. I want you to be Netflix and not Blockbuster. Essentially what this is 21st century communications. And you said it best. I mean, I have never seen such organic reach as I have, and for people who don't understand what that means, Bryan, can you shed a little bit of light of how valuable organic reach is and why LinkedIn is the place to get maybe the most of it? And I would concur with that, and I'm living proof of that.
Yeah, no, likewise. I think the thing to remember is that everyone you ever want to do business with is here on LinkedIn, right? From the founder to the funder to the chairman to the janitor and everybody in between. The reality is, when you think about all the platforms that exist, and you mentioned a bunch of them, right? Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, again, Instagram, right? Each of them have their own predispositions of what we think and of them to be, right? We know we go to Facebook to find our friends and family. We know to get Instagram to see how pretty everyone is and what they're up to and all that, right? Real, not real, who knows, right? But that's not the point. I guess you have these predispositions. And the same thing applies with LinkedIn. You think, oh, this is a business social networking platform where I go to look for a job, right? So it's flipped on its head, and now it's an engagement platform, right? So when we talk about organic reach, think of Facebook in the early days, right? Yeah. I've been on Facebook for like 11, 12 years. And in the early days, that was there. And what that means is the advertising stuff isn't there yet. Right? So no paid advertising blasting in your face, and you don't have to pay for advertising to show up and be seen. Organic reach is you show up and your audience shows up, right? Now, like every platform, there's algorithms that are driving things, right? You can't control that. So what you want to focus on is being you and showing up and being genuine and authentic. I want to share some interesting numbers, though, specifically around video, and it really applies to LinkedIn.
Yeah, please.
Right? So 80% of content consumed online is through video, right? Videos help build brand awareness. And 90% of people use videos to make purchasing decisions, whether it be services, products, etc. And social videos, by the way, generate about 12x the shares of text and image combined. So there are lots of ways to show up, right? And drive that organic reach, whether it's through video, text-based posts, visual imagery, carousel document type posts, right? I think the key is diversification, which is also key when you think about organic reach, because again, you can't control certain elements. So all you can do is go, okay, I know that everybody consumes content differently. Nez loves video. Bryan loves video. Catherine loves text. Sean loves image-based stuff, right? And I think catering to that audience in a way like that and diversifying that, knowing that everyone consumes it differently, it's a great thing to do, right? Because again, you can't control which ones will be seen more versus less. But by diversifying your portfolio, if you will, in terms of your content strategy, that allows you to be catering to your audience in different ways.
That's awesome, Bryan. Yeah. And I mean, you have to, what I love is that you're backing it up with actual data. Guys, this is really important. I talk about this a lot on my show. This stuff actually works. You know, Bryan and I, we are excellent communicators, as most of you guys watching are too. We're not just doing this for kicks and giggles. Even though we love to help people, we love to share our story, this stuff actually works. This stuff reaches the people that you want to reach. This stuff impacts the people that you want to impact. There's no more excuses anymore. There's no more middleman anymore. You can go directly to the source, directly to the hiring manager, directly to the executive, directly to the person who hires speakers at the conference, directly to the actual people who are in charge, the company decision makers. This is what's beautiful. And what I like to say, Bryan, I'd love your thoughts on this, is I always like to say that what video does is video kind of three-dimensionalizes you. You know, a resume, a nice profile, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Those are great two-dimensional versions of you. But what video can do, and I talk about how video, doesn't have to be so complicated. You don't need the fancy microphone and lighting, and you can start with what you have in your back pocket right now. And I'd love your thoughts on that too, Bryan. Video is a way of really kind of giving people a feeling of who you are, because isn't that what a personal brand is? A personal brand is a feeling. How do people feel when they, are exposed to you, when they understand you, when they hear you, when they see you, when they comprehend your story, your vision? It's a feeling that you get across. You can't reach everybody, but you can reach the right people. I always say quality trumps quantity, and vanity metrics are not very, very important. And you actually nailed it on the head. I've been on Facebook for just as long as probably on LinkedIn too, Bryan. And obviously, organic reach on Facebook has dwindled big time. And I'm not complaining. And so, you know, it's amazing how LinkedIn has sort of turned into Facebook 2011, 2012, much better, I think, in my opinion. And, you know, because the quality of professionals, the quality of individuals is just on a whole nother level. Let me ask you a question. And I want to, before I ask you, Bryan, I want to just say hello to a couple of people in the chat. Stephanie Lou, how are you, Stephanie? Good to see you.
Hey,
Thank you for joining us. Hey, guys, remember, sharing is caring. So share this out. If you know somebody who could learn a thing or two about LinkedIn, who's struggling, frustrated, overwhelmed with building their brand, building their online reputation, building their online presence in 2020, share this out. This show is going to be extremely valuable. We got Bryan for about another 30, 35 minutes. And if you stick around to the end, I'll let Bryan kind of contextualize this more. We've got an amazing giveaway. So you got to stick around, and I'm going to take your questions too at the end as well. So get those questions ready for Bryan and I, specifically Bryan, about your LinkedIn questions, because I'm going to go to those questions towards the end of our conversation. Hey, Neil, good to see you on YouTube. Mike, Hybrid Steel, thank you so much for the test this morning. I really appreciate it. It's good to see Patrick Kamahu, founder, The Meeting Point Africa. Great to see you, Patrick. Thank you so much. Hey, Bryan, what are some of the things that you face when people kind of, the naysayers, like you're working with CEOs, you're working with executives, you're helping them to build their brand, build their campaigns. What are some of the things that people are saying about LinkedIn that's stopping them from creating, and what's your answer to that?
That's a really, really good question. So before I answer that, I want to go back to something that you said earlier and kind of posed a question around. It's the heart of it all, right, that matters the most. And I think we forget that in business, right? It's easy to miss it, right? Companies are focused on the next quarter, the next deal, the next product, the next service, the next merger, the next acquisition, right? The next brand, versus the heart of how it all started, why it started, right? Because it wasn't the founders going, hey, I want to create $1 billion company. And I'm sure that was part of what was in mind, but that wasn't the why, right? The why came from here. It came from their heart. They wanted to change the world for the good, right? And so something you said earlier really resonated with me, and I'm going to put it in different words. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Simon Sinek said that.
Yes.
Well, the other thing to remember, too, when you talk about video, and I'll share some metrics to back this up, right? Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. And how you leave others feeling after an experience with you is truly your trademark. This is the digital world that we live in, right? And something else that you were alluding to earlier, which is really important to remember. People may forget what it is that you say, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And that's something you were talking about.
Oh my God, that's a quote. That's a quote from Dr. Maya Angelou. I've used that quote before. I love that quote. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, do you see what's going on here? Do you see the kind of people I bring to you? Isn't Bryan just amazing? In the chat right now, I want you to give a big fireball, a big thumbs up, a huge smiley face. How much do you guys love Bryan? Hey, Bryan, I love the way you said that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That was great. No, I say this too. Let me ask you this, Bryan. I want you to answer the other question too. I'm sorry to interject. I just got too passionate there. But another thing that I tell a lot of my clients in my business is I say people don't buy your credentials; they buy your energy.
That's right.
And what's a better way? What's a better way of communicating your energy than creating content online? And when I say creating content, Nez Nation, this doesn't have to be something overwhelming, frustrating, or too robust of a task to execute. Bryan's going to share with us his, video. He has a fantastic article. I'll link it in the description, where he talks about his first couple of videos he executed on LinkedIn several years back. Bryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but starting with what you got, starting with where you are right now. Everybody started with a big goose egg. Everybody started with really bad audio, really bad, production value. Doesn't it get better? Aren't these skills that people need?
Yes, 100%. So there's a couple of things I want to answer for you. So let me
I know it's a lot.
Let me try and see if I can remember all this. Okay, so we talk about the power of video, right? So, and I'm going to answer the question about the naysayers and why I don't need to be doing this.
It's really my fault.
Right?
I apologize.
It's okay. We've got time. So HubSpot did a study finding that 54% of consumers want to see more video content from brands and businesses that they support.
Nice.
Now, they went on further and they said that it's predicted that video will account for 70% of all mobile traffic by 2021. It is the heart of it all that matters, you guys. And I think the growth of video as a part of a brand's heart-centered content marketing strategy is going to continue to increase with a concentration on LinkedIn. In 2020, LinkedIn Live will come out of beta, and with Live, right, which is what we're on in many ways, many platforms. Right, I predict more and more businesses are going to find their voices. They're going to voice their vibe. They're going to attract their tribes by including native video, live video in their marketing strategies on LinkedIn. Now, that being said, yes, I have been on LinkedIn every day for the last 16 years. Getting started, I mean, I found a voice I never knew I had, Nez. I've made over 500 videos on LinkedIn in the last 2 years. I am one of the pioneers of LinkedIn video. Yes, LinkedIn Live. And I showed up and I voiced my vibe and I attracted a tribe that I never knew was there. I got on LinkedIn video and found something inside of me that I didn't know existed. I was sharing very personal stories from my heart so that you could get to know who I was and who I am and why. Why would you do something like that, right? LinkedIn, why would you share stories and personal stuff, right? Well, my why, and I always believe this, and I always talk about this with every one of my clients, is your why is the first of everything. Before you even get started, you got to know your why. And your why is not, I came to LinkedIn to do business. Everybody comes to LinkedIn to do business.
Yeah.
You got to have a deeper purpose, and it needs to come from here, right? My why, since I came to LinkedIn all in that first day 16 years ago, was to inspire one person a day. And for those of you that don't know this, and I'm going to share a little tidbit because I think it's really important, and it goes back to your question about the naysayers and why they should say they shouldn't get started on video or every reason under the sun, like I did for 5 months waiting and said, no, I can't do it. I was a 1.5 pound miracle baby that wasn't supposed to live. I grew up with a neurological disorder called Tourette syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches, and I was different and weird, and I just wanted to blend in. I dealt with a lot of adversity and bullying growing up. And what I realized through LinkedIn video specifically, because it changed my life, and LinkedIn has changed my life so many times, as I know it has you and so many that are watching, is that I just needed to be me. And then by being me, I was inspiring others by sharing my story. Yeah. And it's the story part, right? So back to your question, again, I said it's the heart of it all that matters, right? It's the heart inside of you that people fall in love with. And bringing your heart in every story that you tell, whether you're an executive, a brand, a business, a team, right? Tell those stories because it's the stories that we fall in love with. It's the stories that attract and vibe the tribe that you want to show up. Now, the questions that come up every single time when I work with executives, founders, and others is, nobody's going to care about my story, Bryan. I'm not like you. I didn't almost, die coming.
That sounds awfully familiar.
Right? And I didn't deal with all the adversity that you did and all that stuff. And I said, stop. Stop right now, because what you're doing is you are discounting your story, and the relatability of what you've been through. Because it is relatability, you guys. Relatability is what it's all about. Yes, I have a degree in psychology. Yes, I've spent thousands and thousands of hours figuring all this stuff out when it comes to video. I want you all to understand something. I had never done this before. I had never put a camera in front of my face. It was always my kids on the other side. I didn't know what I was doing, how to do it, technologically, psychologically, emotionally, everything. I was greener than green. And I had to learn one more time in my life, as I have my whole life, how to get comfortable being comfortable. and realizing that when you do that, you grow and you learn, and that's when the magic happens. So I always say, step one, tell me your life story. No holds barred. Just tell me your life story. Because the thing is when we're inside our own head, Nez, I didn't think I had a story that mattered. I never talked about that. My very first video on LinkedIn, in the article you're referring to, please go and look at it. When you go to my profile, you'll see it says this.
I'm going to leave a link in the description for sure.
Yeah, look, I want you all to go to that. If you haven't made a video before on LinkedIn, go and look at that article. It's basically a lot of my videos, as Nez shared, when I got started, but it's the story too of how I got started, the struggles I went through, how I kept going, all that stuff. And I created that because, one, I wanted to know how I went through the journey myself. Two, you said something else. A lot of times we only see the final production. Like all you guys see today who've never met me or know me or seen me before is, wow, this guy's on video. He's made 500 videos and speaking globally about LinkedIn and et cetera. It's important to realize we all start from ground zero. You just got to start, right? And that's what it's about. It's mustering up the courage and the bravery to just start, because I know everything you would be thinking of and you would go through. I've been through it all. Oh my God, what are people going to think? What's my boss going to think? What are my partners, my clients, my prospects going to think if I'm showing up and talking about my life story, right? Which I shared for the first time ever in front of 500 million people and on LinkedIn of all places. And I was inspired to do that because of stories from Manu Swishkaswamy and Michaela Alexis and so many others that were pouring their hearts out.
Yeah.
And I think we can come up with every reason under the sun, again, not to do it. I did, like I said.
And I think that the voice inside your head is really important, because I talk about this on my channel a lot, Bryan, that we have, even people who are successful, such as you and I, we have that imposter syndrome at times. Oh, yeah. The voice inside your head is really the only impediment, guys, that you have. And Bryan is confirming this. And this goes back, you know, since the dawn of time. This is nothing new. Everybody's got that dude inside their head whose favorite word is "you suck," whose favorite word is "you can't," whose favorite word is "you don't matter." We have to give that dude the pink slip. You have Bryan and Nez's permission to fire that dude inside your head. Hey, Bryan, let me ask you this, because, and guys, I want you to kind of leave your questions in the chat for Bryan. And myself, and you know, Bryan's such an amazing, gracious guest. So what I love about what you're saying is that, number one, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to come across as maybe fumbling or stumbling or not perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. Start with your very life story. Start with your why. Identify your why, and then, you know, create based around that. With somebody who's trying to advance their career, or somebody who just, you know, another thing that I like to say about personal branding is that it's about staying relevant. It's not about being complacent. What would you say? Yeah, we're having a little bit of glitch on one end. That's okay. Don't worry about it, Kathy. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out. It's okay. You're still coming in okay, Bryan. Can you hear and see me okay, Bryan?
Yeah, you're good. Crystal clear.
Fantastic. So what do you think, because we know the power of, you know, business and digital marketing. And it almost seems like a no-brainer if you're a business in the 21st century, especially 2020, and you're not leveraging this digital ecosystem, holy macadamia nut, you're stuck in the dinosaur era. But for people who are, you know what, hey, and I've said this before, I'd love your thoughts, Bryan. You know, I'm a VP of sales. I'm a project manager. I'm a data architect. What do I need to be on LinkedIn for? Why do I even need to worry about my LinkedIn presence? What's your thoughts on that, Bryan?
That's a really good question. Okay, so whether you're looking for a job, right? I guess the thing to think about is this: the internet is an incredible thing. Okay, I've been on the interwebs ever since it was green screen and chat rooms, and it's been an incredible transition over the last however many years. And I think the thing to always remember, and you kind of just brought it up, right? If you're not in the digital age, you're kind of a dinosaur, right? And showing up is so important, because when you show up, incredible things happen. I'm going to give you an example. I've been in sales my entire life. Okay. And 14 of the years I was working for a company in different industries. And I would show up. Now, again, remember, I didn't have a purpose of showing up to do business. I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to inspire people. And my content reflects that. It was never about business for me. That's the other thing I want people to remember remember, I talk about relatability.
Yes.
This may actually be a good time, Nez, to kind of share some tips, because
yes.
let me do this. Okay. So
yes,
I want to share five quick tips with you all to becoming one of the world's top LinkedIn video creators. Okay. And these are really simple. Okay, guys?
Get out your pad and pen, guys. This is it.
Okay. Tip number 1, show up. Show up and be human first. Okay?
Hey, Bryan, can I stop you? Can I stop you for a second and say something?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I have to say this because I love tip number 1. I don't know if Bryan's aware of this. I want to know, Nez Nation, I want you to put in the chat, what is the mission statement of this awesome Nez Nation family? I'm going to tell Bryan in just a second, but leave it in the chat. What is the mission statement that I say almost every single broadcast of what the real essence? Because Bryan said something really interesting. He said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, knowing your why. And so the mission statement of our, channel here, Bryan, is to bring more humanness to this digitalness. And it's our sort of mission mantra. And I don't like to say mantra. That sounds too culty, kind of. But what you just said, tip number 1, I want to get back to you, Bryan. This is all about you. I just want to say tip number 1, absolutely golden and really resonates with our Nez Nation audience. Please continue.
Well, and it's important, right? Because again, we're thinking business first. You got to remember, LinkedIn now, your toilet bowl is flushing in the opposite direction. And what I mean by that is it's not business first. You don't just show up and start talking about business. People have to fall in love with you before they're going to listen to what you have to say. That's why you show up and be you and share share some of your stories, right? And I'll talk about the best way to do your very first LinkedIn video at the end. Okay, so tip 1, show up and be human. Tip 2, engage and support. That could even, and coupling kind of tip 1 and tip 2 together, right? Because showing up and being human applies to everything we're talking about, but that also applies to engaging and supporting. Build community and shine your light bright on others. We have the most incredible community here on LinkedIn. It is what you see hashtagged all over LinkedIn called LinkedIn Fam. And Sunny Tanan and I joke because one of us created it and we can't figure out who it is. And it's not the important part. The important part is what it means. Like, we're a true family here. Every ecosystem from a digital perspective, when you think of the platforms that exist, it's all about the people. LinkedIn is all about the people, right? Reid Hoffman, Jeff Weiner, everybody at LinkedIn have created this incredible opportunity for us to come together on this playground and have the best time together like we're in kindergarten all over again. Right? There's no predispositions. There's no judgments. It doesn't matter what you look like, what color you are, what race you are, how much experience you have. We are human beings first. Okay, so tip 1 again, show up and be human. Tip 2, engage and support, build community, shine your light bright on others. Tip 3 is create. Right? So you have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively impact, affect, and inspire another human being's life. Show up on video and share your stories. Like I said, it is all about relatability. Talk about what you're interested in. Talk about what you're excited about. That bleeds through the lens. That is the power of video, you guys, right? The only thing missing from this right now with all of us is I can't smell you and I can't touch you. But the reality is
that might be a good thing.
Yeah, right. but here's the point, right?
Maybe that's a benefit.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But the point is that I can touch you. I can touch you with my heart.
Yeah.
You get all the feels through video, right? So again, what you're passionate about, what you're excited about, what you're interested. And remember, 60 seconds or less is your best friend. Believe it or not, if you create a video and you've never made videos before and you're showing up in 2, 3, 5+ minutes, people aren't going to watch it. They're scrolling through their feed. Everybody's on the go. If they don't know who you are as a human being, why are they going to stop and see you talking about something that's related to business? Okay. Show up, be human, engage and support, create. Tip 4, consistency is key, you guys. Now, I'm an extreme, okay? I've been showing up.
I think I am too.
Yeah, it's true, right? I mean, my consistency, I guess here's a really important part. My consistency, Nez's consistency, is not your consistency. Everyone has their own vibe that works in terms of consistency. Create a content strategy. Create a calendar. Think about the calendar you have on your phone or on your wall if you're still old school and you write stuff down. Create a calendar to create a level of consistency that works for you. Okay? Because when you show up consistently, your tribe knows when you're going to show up. I want you to understand something, okay? Again, 655 million people on LinkedIn. Your tribe is waiting for you to show up. They're out there. Whatever you want to talk about and share, there are people literally waiting for you to show up and share it.
Yeah.
So create, and the consistency thing, too, like think about Nez, right? Nez shows up. You know when he's showing up. You know what channels he's showing up on. You know what he's going to talk about, right? He's consistent with that kind of stuff. And when you do that, an example, how do you create consistency? It's a question that comes up a lot, right? I'm not saying you have to make videos every day, right? By no means. If you're inspired, sure, go ahead, but realize that you can get burnt out really easily. So I always recommend people ramp. Start from here, ramp up. But when you're inspired by something, pull out your phone. And this was something Nez said earlier, right? There's a lot of why I can't do this. Oh, I don't have all the technology. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, I don't know what to talk about, right? If you stop and look around and realize that everything that's happening around you is a story to be shared and an experience to be experienced, you can talk about anything and it's going to be relatable. So sharing those stories and thinking about the journey, right, when you're inspired, because inspiration doesn't hit all the time, right, guys? When you have it, go with it. You're inspired to talk about 4 different things. Wow, it's amazing. And by the way, when we talk about that, with the notion of going back to creating, everyone has their own vibes, okay? Like, I'm a dad. Like, I love being a dad, and you know that because I talk about it. I am the proudest sharing on LinkedIn about my kids and what they're up to and all that. Why would I share anything about my kids on LinkedIn? You want to know why? Do you know how many millions of parents there are on LinkedIn? It's relatable. Yes, I'm a proud dad, but it's relatable.
Yeah.
Okay, so sharing those relatabilities. But your vibes, I always recommend 5. 5's good. And this is how you create your content calendar too, is you say, okay, instead of a shotgun approach, because you don't ever want to just do a shotgun approach, you want to create your vibes. So I'm a dad. I'm a founder and CEO. So I love music. I love people. Everybody knows I love bringing people together in videos. I am a collaborator in its truest form. It's my favorite thing. And
I can vouch for this, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, right? Incredible things happen when we
Very
come
supportive.
together. You don't have to know what's going to happen. That's the beauty about it. That's the magic in it. Just show up with people and then, pull out your phone. And I say phone, right? I have made over 500 videos with just my phone. There's only 3 things that you need, you guys, to do this thing. Your smile, which is yours. It is your trademark. No one else in the world has it. Your voice, it is yours. No one else in the world has it. Your phone. That's it.
Beautiful.
Show up. Show up. Be human. Use your phone. You don't need lots of tools and gadgets and apps. If you want to do that, I can scream all the ones I love for you, because I fell in love with the process of creating videos and adding music and editing. It just was fun to me. And I would spend thousands of hours in this stuff, but I wasn't thinking about how long it was taking me. I was thinking about how much fun I was having, and the fun part happens along the way. Don't get me wrong. It's really uncomfortable when you get started. It just is.
Yeah.
You're not used to putting the phone in your face and where do I look? And oh my God, I'm staring at myself and what are people going to say? And all those things, right? Just start. Just do it. Just go. Don't be concerned if you're not doing one take. If I kept all the takes I made, I'd literally have video content for 5 years. And I saved some of that stuff and I even share it with you guys. The bloopers, everybody loves that. It humanizes it, right?
Yeah.
It goes, oh, wow. they fell. Okay, I can fall too. And don't be afraid to fail, you guys. People look at the word failure and go, oh no, I can't fail. I'm going to say something to you that I told my dear friend Natasha Margaritis in Australia after my keynote at LinkedIn Local Melbourne about this stuff. It's okay to fail. I have failed more times than I have succeeded in life, on this platform, in business. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. So just start. Now, just starting, which we'll talk about after the 5th tip, which is collaboration. Incredible things happen when you come together. Yeah. Collaborate with people, make videos with people, get together offline. I mean, I'm telling you, the most amazing things happen. I found a family on this platform that I never knew I had. And I say family from my heart, like I would jump in front of a train tracks for any one of you. That's amazing. We're going to look back many years from now, because what we have done together is created this incredible culture and a platform at a company that we don't work for, right? That is all about heart, you guys. It is all about coming together, and it's happened. I mean, Nez, you've seen it. I've seen it. I've traveled the world. I've had people I had this incredible company, ETA Inc., which is a travel app. Shout out to my fam at ETA, who sponsored my trip to go and do a keynote at LinkedIn Local Melbourne in Australia.
Nice.
Like, that was just from showing up, you guys, showing up on video. That just happened organically. Right? So if you show up, back to your point, Nez, if you show up, incredible things will happen for you, for your business.
And I think that's the most... Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Those are your 5 tips. Show up and be human, engage in support, create in the different ways you can, not just video, be consistent, create your level of consistency, collaborate.
I love it. I think those are brilliant tips, Bryan. Thank you so much for sharing those, guys. I hope you wrote those down. We have a couple of questions from our audience I want to get to, and guys, this is the time to leave your questions down below. And if you've stuck around this far, especially if you're watching this on the replay or listening to this on the podcast, Bryan's got an awesome gift for all of us. I can't wait to have him. I'll have him present it. Excuse me. But first of all, I want to say this. Not only is the advice and tutelage that Bryan's sharing with us, not only is it super, super heartfelt, it's superhuman, which is everything that Nez Nation stands for, but guys, this actually works. Let me tell you something. I have actual examples, and I'm sure Bryan does too, of actual clients who have reached out to me and said, "Hey, Nez, I saw your video 2 weeks ago. Hey, Nez, I saw your live stream. I was listening to your podcast the other day. Hey, Nez, I can't tell you guys how many times. Hey, Nez, I want to work with you. I saw your article on LinkedIn. I read it. And then I ended up going to your website. And then I ended up watching your live streams. You've got thousands and thousands of videos. You're broadcasting all over the place. These are people who don't know who I am. I've never met them before. They've just come to me by checking out my content, looking and feeling and seeing and getting a taste of who I am, especially on LinkedIn. And it's just paid massive, massive dividends. So guys, this is absolutely huge. Sam Gupta, good to see you on LinkedIn. Be human. Never underestimate the value of being real. I want to say hello to Trent Mendez on Twitch. Good to see you, Trent. Thank you so much for being here. Bryan, Rita has a question, and then Catherine, excuse me, I'm still getting over this. My whole entire family has had this insane cough. Yeah, excuse me while I take a sip, but my whole family has had this insane cough. It's never gone away. It's been like 2 months.
Oh, man.
Okay, I want to say this really quickly. Catherine Rosario Young, otherwise known as Kathy Fitz, says, and Rita, I want to get to your question too, that being a mom of 2 little ones and going to school, it's tough, but I don't want to use that as an excuse. Insecurity is another one for me. Feeling like I might not have the correct or right information. Let me tell you something, Kathy, and I'm going to let Bryan talk to this, and then Rita, I'm going to get to your question. This is, I think, and Bryan, if I'm understanding you correctly, this is exactly what Bryan was saying, and I believe it was maybe tip number 3 or 2, I can't remember, where your consistency is your consistency. Look, Bryan and I mean, this is our business. This is our life. So yeah, we create content. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sure Bryan already knows this. We create content almost every day, if not at least 2-3 times a week. Is that something that is amenable or feasible for everyone? Capital A, absolutely not. Okay? Now, can you do that? Of course, but nobody expects that of you. I have 2 kids. I'm a father. I've got a wife. I've got a mortgage. I've got, everybody's got things going on, right? You make time when you can. I think the biggest mistake that people make, and I want Bryan to talk about this, the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to creating content is they feel this urge, this need. I got to put something out there. So guess what diminishes when you're always thinking about being as consistent as other people? The quality of your content diminishes. Bryan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I definitely do. So, Kathy, I'm sending you a big hug. One, I understand the insecurity point. I was so insecure when I got started. I really wish I had a camera following me around when I got started so you could see what a fool I felt like and how hard it was for me. I'm not going to lie, right? It's hard. It is. It's hard. Like we are our biggest critics, right? I think the reality is, guys, is we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We can come up with every reason why we can't. Okay, I have a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. But over the last 14 years, and ever since you could create content over the last 16 years, I've been showing up every single day. And it's just like waking up, brushing your teeth, whatever. I share content 4 to 5 times a day. There was a time, and I'm an extreme, there was a time where I was sharing content every hour from 6:30 in the morning until 9:30 at night. Nobody was doing this. I had strategy.
Holy mackerel.
I had strategy and purpose and why I was doing it. Yeah. That's a story for another time. But I think, Kathy, the thing to understand is I'm with you. That's 1. 2, I'm here to support you. 3, we're all here to support you. 4, you're not alone. And 5, just start. Just start. And don't worry about what and how much. Just start. Every day is day 1, you guys. Every day is Beautiful. Day 1. It's all about realizing that, and you don't know it at the time. You get better every time you hit record and post, every time you create something and post it. But remember this, Kathy, and everyone else that's listening that may be thinking the same thing Kathy shared. I said it before, I'm going to say it again now. You have a voice and a story that matters, and a voice and a story that can positively impact, affect, and inspire another human being's life. And that is the most incredible gift that we can receive or that we can give. Remember, we are human beings first. Nez, you mentioned people reaching out and saying, hey, Nez, right? My why is to inspire 1 person a day, and everybody tells me you inspire so many more than that. And don't get me wrong, I want to inspire millions and millions of people, but 1 a day that's legacy to me. It's like my kids, and you guys, right? I've been all in for a long time, and it was because I wanted to inspire people, because I know how hard it is. I know how hard life can get. I've been through it. I know how hard business can be. I've fallen more times than I've succeeded, okay? But it's the inspiration. I had someone send me a message yesterday, and she said, I had to send you a note. We've never spoken. We've never met, but I can't tell you how much your posts have meant to me in the last year. I've struggled so much, and it was so
That's
hard
awesome.
when
Those are the best messages, aren't they?
It's everything.
That's everything. It's everything. That's everything.
And I want you to realize that everyone has that in them. So just start and just show up. And don't worry about everything else.
And I think Kathy just mentioned, which is awesome, Catherine. Catherine says, I already started, just to let you know. That's fantastic. And I want to say this. I want to add this. Bryan, very, very aptly put. I just got on the line with 2 different people prior to going live today. Now, I've been live broadcasting online since 2015. I started on Periscope. I've been doing thousands of broadcasts. I still have failures when I try to create content. You would think, Nez, you've been doing this forever. How could you still believe me, guys? And my audience knows this. As a matter of fact, I had the great Carlos Gill, who just wrote a fantastic book about the end of marketing. That interview, which I've been so pumped and so ready for, just like this one, that one was an absolute calamity audio-wise. I still posted it, but it was an actual, devastation, and I was really upset about it. I was really bummed about it. But here's the thing, and this is the sort of takeaway, and Bryan has really kind of alluded to this. It happens. It's gonna happen. It's never gonna not. It's not gonna end. The pitfalls, the stumblings, the failures, that's a part of being a human being, A, but B, especially if you want to build your content, build your online reputation, grow faster, earn more, everything, all the good stuff. It's going to happen time and time again. Hey, Bryan, I want to also get to Rita. Rita has a really great question.
Yeah, please.
And I want to get to that as well. And guys, by the way, we're gonna do a free giveaway. So stick around. Make sure you share this out. Have you smash the smash button, hit the insight button, hit the love button, hit the celebration reaction. I love the LinkedIn reactions. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're joining me from. We're getting a lot more people jumping in. It always seems to be that way when we're close to finishing. So Rita says, hey, Bryan, when will LinkedIn Live be out for all of us to use? And then number 2, it's a 2-part question. Simple first tech to set up to get started? ? I would say right away, number 2. He's already answered that, and I want to confirm you do not need anything but what's in your pocket right now. Question number 1, I actually don't know. I got LinkedIn Live. I was fortunate and blessed and lucky enough to get LinkedIn Live back in July. Bryan, do you have any insight on when more and more people will get this?
Okay, so here's some thoughts for you on that. LinkedIn is currently piloting live video streaming with a few broadcasters, and I say few. There's probably about 250 of us around the globe. I got access on my birthday, May 13th of last year, but it is in beta, right? So the feature isn't available to all members or pages. Now, if you want to request access to become a live video broadcaster on LinkedIn, and I don't know if my buddy Brennan Berkmeyer is here, but drop the link into the comments, or anyone that has it. I have it, but I can't put it into the right place.
You can also Google LinkedIn Live application.
That's it, exactly. Because that's what I did as well. Yeah. So now I want to say something with this, okay?
Please.
Don't be discouraged if your application is denied. There are a lot of people that are getting denied. But here I have some tips for you. Here's some tips. If your application gets denied, what do? Step 1, go live on other platforms. Show LinkedIn that you already create live video content. I suggest live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, other places as well, because that is a question that gets asked. Are you streaming on other platforms? Which platforms? So step 1, go live on other platforms. Step 2, create native video on LinkedIn. Okay, create and upload. And I say native video, meaning you're not putting a YouTube link. Do not put YouTube links and post those. LinkedIn wants you to start here and stay here, right? They don't want you to leave the platform. Yeah, so native means you upload it into your phone as an example. And I would show it to you, but I'm looking at the comments, so I don't want to do that. But so step 1, go live on other platforms. Step 2, create native video on LinkedIn. Step 3, engage on other live streams. I can't stress this more, you guys. There are, like I said, about 250 of us that are LinkedIn Live broadcasters, okay? You see them. LinkedIn has done an amazing job at popping that up on the top of your feed every time somebody is going live, right? And it usually blasts it with a couple seconds in between 2 or 3 times. Engage with other people's live streams. It grows your tribe. You'll better understand the feature, and LinkedIn pays attention to who's showing up too on live streams. Okay, so it's good visibility for people, for them to know, hey, they're out there supporting people. That's a great thing. Okay?
And if you're wondering, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bryan.
No, so I'm almost done. Step 4 is don't be discouraged. Right? Take action in terms of 1, 2, and 3 that I shared, and then reapply. Eventually, things will shift. You got to understand, LinkedIn is so backlogged with people that want access. Huge. I mean, if you go and like LinkedIn Live, the term, 50,000 searches a month for that term on Google. Okay, so it just, again, in the meantime, don't worry about getting approved. Support others, build your tribe, and then engage in the posts and let them know you appreciate their content shared.
Yeah,
and then
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, no and then, right? It's where
No and then.
No and then. Just take those steps.
Yeah.
Fill it out. Again, if you get denied, it's okay.
Yes.
You're not alone, right?
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah, and I will also add this. I love fantastic tips, and definitely all you need to do is Google a LinkedIn Live application. It's a very simple form, and I actually applied, I think, twice when it first came out. And thankfully, they saw that, okay, this guy does live streaming, this guy does podcasting. I was very lucky, and I feel very blessed and fortunate to have gotten it over the summer. But here's another thing that I'd like to say is the algorithm. I say this to my clients, you want to befriend the algorithm. And what Bryan was alluding to is super huge. And Bryan, confirm this or deny this if you can. Engagement. The algorithm is looking for engagement. It's not just about views or vanity metrics. They're looking for conversations, interactions. And you know what? That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Even Instagram, just to kind of, a little quick aside, Instagram is taking away the like feature on their platform. It's rolling out more and more. Why? Because it's about engagement. The real metric is, are you creating content? As Bryan said, he wants to inspire people every day. That's his legacy. I could say definitely without a shadow of a doubt, I've said this many times on my channel, I love doing that more than anything. It puts a locomotive in my chest when I get messages as Bryan got. Hey, Nez, your video changed my life. Hey, Nez, your live stream helped. Hey, Nez, I can't thank you enough. Those are what I live for. Bryan lives for that too. And when you start getting those messages, holy macadamia nut, everything will change in your life. And so befriending the algorithm, you need to be creating content that inspires discourse, that inspires conversation, that gets people moving, that gets people talking, that gets people sharing. If you can do that and you are a part of that as well, if LinkedIn, that it triggers the algorithm. If you're commenting on other streams, hint, hint, this one right now. If you're commenting on streams, if you're leaving reactions and all sorts of things like that, and you're actually engaging with a thriving community, that's going to help you better than anything. And just really quickly, Rita says, are you doing this on your personal page or business page? Actually, Rita, yeah, I'm going live at about 6,000 different places. I'm live on LinkedIn. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Twitch. I'm live on Twitter. LinkedIn Live is a fantastic new feature. But as Bryan said, go live on other places first and get that kind of break your sort of, get that experience. Go ahead, Bryan.
I want to add something to what you said, because all of that was fantastic, Nez. It's not about the likes. It's not about the views. It's about engagement. It's about community. It's about building community. Don't focus on the algorithm. You can't control the algorithm. That's out of your control. Why are you going to try and control something you can't control? Focus on what you can control, which is showing up, being human, supporting others, building community, shining your light bright on others. If you do that, you guys, and I know so many creators can attest to that, right? Sir Richard Moore in the UK, my dear friend, right? When he got started, that's how he got started. He started to show up in the comments. He'd show up on Shout Out Saturday, a series I've been doing for 88 weeks, you guys. And it was literally about me giving love, all of these amazing human beings that I'd meet during the week and doing video chats, that I just was like, wow, these are amazing human beings. That I'd meet on LinkedIn, that I want to give them some love. I want to let them know I care about them. I appreciate them taking their time and our time together. And the cool thing is people would show up and share that love for others they appreciated too, right? That's an example of how you can create consistency through a video series. It's also a way for you to be remembered, right? Again, how you make people feel, right?
Yep.
You make people feel a certain way by showing up and sharing you. And it's okay to be vulnerable, you guys. I mean, I've gotten on podcasts and video chats and live streams, and I've cried because I'm reading a story that my daughter wrote about who inspires her, and it was about me, and it wasn't something that I knew, and I was so inspired by it that I wanted to share that, So again, I think just start. Yes, all you need is your phone. You don't need anything else, you guys. Okay, so one thing I do remember I wanted to say was your first video, real quick. Very first LinkedIn video. Okay. With every video that you create, by the way, add what we call copy. Add text, right, into the body. So when you open up that window, it says, what would you like to say? And you see a little video icon, a camera icon, a little document icon. That's where you put your text. And you have up to 1,300 characters you can put in there. Add something there when you create a post, or when you make a video, so people know what you're going to show up and talk about, just like Nez did for today going live. Okay, 60 seconds or less is your best friend. Smile. Hit record. Start talking about what you want to talk about. 60 seconds or less, but your very first video has nothing to do with what you were talking about. It has everything to do with the fact that you made it. And a lot of people will go, hey, what's the big deal? It's just video. It's not. It's that first everything, right? It's the first time Nev said, oh, I want to make a podcast. I want to create a live show. You know, it's that guy or gal you asked on a date, you didn't think they'd say yes. It's that job you went after, you didn't think you'd get. At the company you wanted to start that you didn't think you had the chutzpah to do, right? It's any first. And we question everything of, can we? Do we have the courage? Do we have the know-how? You know, and you do it and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I wait so long? I did that. I said, oh my God, why did I wait 5 months to start LinkedIn video when I had access when it launched? Because I was scared. Because I thought, what if my Tourette's come out? What kind of video is that going to be? People don't know I have this here, you know? So if you, again, just start, make that video, use the hashtag the number one ST video, my first video. When you make that very first LinkedIn video, please tag me, tag Nez when you make that video so that we can come and support you. This community is all about supporting creators. So definitely do that.
And this has a lot to do with your tip about collaboration too, working with other people. You know, this hashtag that I have here on my, you know, in my studio here, Nez Nation, this is not some sort of, you know, vain kind of attempt at, you know, trying to lift my own self up. This is a community. So this is a community of amazing content creators, business owners, professionals, live streamers, podcasters, gamers. You know, the list goes on. And some of these people I meet at conferences, some of these people I see, you know, I never meet on the offline, but it's just as real. That's why the mission statement of our channel is bringing more humanness to this digitalness. Why? Because this digitalness sometimes gets a bad rap. You know, we hear only the negative stuff in the news, and I know Bryan is a super positive dude. A lot of the times we hear about the privacy breach or Cambridge Analytica or somebody did something bad on the internet or what have you. It just, the list goes on and on. My whole purpose is to shed some light that this can be a thriving community. This can be a beautiful place to be inspired, to engage in real conversations with real people. Just because they happen to be on a screen or just because they happen to be just on an avatar, that doesn't mean anything. This is a real thing. There's people behind those avatars. There's human beings behind those avatars. Nez is a human being. Bryan is a human being. So I think it's just absolutely fantastic. And I just got a question on Twitch saying, what's the benefit of building your brand on LinkedIn? You know, I'm going to answer that really quickly. What I think personal branding is personal branding is you taking ownership of how you're perceived. Okay. You know, that's really the key is if you don't have a personal brand, if you don't create a message, you don't put yourself out there, as Bryan says, and put your story out there, there's going to be a perception of you. So why not take control of that perception and say, hey, this is who I am. I'm Bryan Schulman. I love inspiring. These are my kids. This is my business. This is my family. I mean, you take ownership of that perception. Does that make sense? Bryan, do you agree, disagree?
It does, but here's why LinkedIn, right? Because yeah, there's all these platforms. Why show up here versus Twitch? He's on Twitch right now, right? Here's why. There's a predisposition with each platform. Like I think Twitch, I think gaming, right? Gamers show up. My son's a gamer. Gamers show up. You can get paid to do that. There are all the different ways and etc. Like it's really cool, right? And there's many other people showing up. LinkedIn, predisposition, business social networking platform. Anyone and everyone you ever want to do business with is here. From the founder to the funder, the chairman to the janitor, and everybody in between. They're here knowing it's a business social networking platform. So that foundation is laid for you already. All you have to do is remember, show up human first, and that foundation is already laid for you. That's the big difference, right? And with that, 655 million business professionals, 250 million that are quote unquote active. Basically, you have a profile. 1% creating content.
That's huge.
Come on.
That's huge.
Right? I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Like, that's an incredible opportunity for you to show up, right? Maybe you that's on Twitch, you're looking for funders for your business. Show up here, create content, right? Repurpose your content from Twitch here on LinkedIn. Micro contenting, as I call it, right? Where you can take content from other places and repurpose them. You did a podcast, great. Take a minute snippet of that, repurpose it, show it on LinkedIn. You were on Twitch doing a stream for 5 hours, great. Take 60 seconds of that and repurpose it and then drop the link in the comments so people can go see the whole thing. You have the ability, you don't have to start from scratch, you guys, right? If you're showing up in other places already, you can take that content and repurpose that in ways that'll help you speed up your ability to kind of be seen and be heard, right? And the reality is we all need to be seen and be heard, right? So
well said. Well said.
That's what I said.
And I also want to say that I have a lot of videos, Yayush on, if I'm saying that right, on Twitch. I've got a ton of videos that speak to this very essence of what is the purpose of building a brand here, there, anywhere? What is the purpose of being seen? Please go check those out. And Bryan's obviously got an amazing cacophony of videos and content that can help with that too. I've already left his profile in the description. But Bryan, it's time. Guys, are you ready? Give me a big emoji in the chat. Give me a big thumbs up in the chat. Bryan, what do you have for our Nez Nation audience today?
Yeah, so I am so excited to share this free giveaway with you guys. So shout out to my dear friend and partner in crime, Rob Balasabas, who's the head of social at Thinkific and the community there. 15 free lesson LinkedIn Jumpstart course for you guys.
Woo!
There are tons of nuggets in here that we have put together for you, for the newbies to LinkedIn, or for those that have been around and really haven't done anything. You have your profile, but you haven't shown up and thought about this whole LinkedIn as an engagement platform. So the link is going to be in the comments on whichever platform that you're watching right now.
Both on LinkedIn and YouTube.
Masterclass.thinkific.com.
I'm sorry. Yeah, both.
Yes,
I just wanted to add both on LinkedIn and YouTube. You can find the link to 15 free lessons. This Jumpstart course from Bryan. Sorry, continue.
No, it's good. It's good. Look, I mean, we created this free course for this specific reason. I shared the numbers with you earlier. I mean, just start, right? But sometimes you don't know where and how to start. So this tacks on all the stuff that we've talked about. And I will say this too, right? Please reach out and connect with me. I would love to chat with you. If you've got the link to my profile, when you do, please, 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 I implore you. And if you don't know this exists, I'm going to give you another nugget right now. There's that blaring connect button that sits in front of you on LinkedIn. When you hit that connect button, it sends a message that says, I'd like to add you to my network. That's not really personal, especially if you're sending that to someone that you don't know. So if you are on mobile, on Android or iPhone, because I do everything you see me do via mobile, you can go hit the little 3 buttons, and then you'll see personalized invite. Send me a quick message, say, hey, I saw you on Nez Nation on Friday, would love to connect, so that I know who you are, because I literally have thousands of invites in my inbox, and most all of them do not have personalized invites. So if you let me know who you are, then I can connect and we can set some time up and have a chat, because I love to chat with people. I'd love to learn more about you, and I'd love to see how I can help you, right? If that's helping you get the courage and the bravery to get started. I've helped so many people from that perspective, because again, I've been through it all. I know how hard it is, and it's okay. Again, you don't have to do it alone. But on the other side, if you're a founder or a C-suite exec and you want to find your voice and show up and don't know how, and again, I'm myself, my company, Voice Your Vibe. We're here to help you take the next step.
That's awesome, Bryan. And I just want to say, on behalf of the entire family of Nez Nation, a big, huge thank you for sharing your time today. Thank you for the awesome giveaway. Again, guys, that's going to be in the links in the description on YouTube, on LinkedIn, everywhere. You've just absolutely dropped serious wisdom grenades on our Nez Nation audience. And I just want to say again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And also, just really quickly before I let you go, tell our Nez Nation audience where they can find you. What's the best place to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me. LinkedIn is my home, as you know. I bleed blue and white. It's where I live. So LinkedIn.com/in/Bryan Schulman is where you can find me. And I know I've got poor connection, so hopefully this comes through. We'll drop it in the comments as well. But LinkedIn.com/in/Bryan Schulman. Follow the hashtag #VoiceYourVibe on LinkedIn. And another quick giveaway for you guys. If you want to have a free 15-minute consultation,
nice.
You can go to Calendly, CALENDLY, calendly.com/VoiceYourVibe. And we can set some time up and chat and dig into some stuff.
Thank you so much, Bryan. I really, really appreciate you being here, guys. Go check out Bryan Schulman. Give him some LinkedIn love. And as he says, start right now. Hey, Bryan, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, okay, brother? Thank you.
Nez, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for having me on your show, for Nez Nation, for everyone that's watching, whether it be now or on the replay. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. You all have huge hearts. Use them. Voice your vibe. You will attract your tribe. Incredible things happen when we come together, just like we're doing right now. So, again, thank you so much, and Happy New Year and New Decade to everyone watching.
Yes. Happy 2020, Bryan. Thank you so much, man. Take care. All right, guys, that is the show, and I really appreciate you guys being here today. That has just been fantastic. Everything you want to know about LinkedIn branding. And if you want to, make sure that you subscribe to the hashtag Nez Nation. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click that bell notification, subscribe, so I can keep helping you to build your standout personal brands so you can earn more, grow faster, and stress less. If you're listening on the podcast, please hit that subscribe button. Our podcast is live everywhere. It's called Nez Nation Live. There's the brand right there. Nez Nation Live right at the bottom. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. Make sure that you click subscribe. It is I, your personal branding coach, saying thank you so much. And again, thank you to our awesome guest, Mr. Bryan Schulman. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year. It's 2020, and you know I ain't never going to stop. I'm going to keep bringing it. I love you guys. Go check out more content if you want to at ProfessorNez.com, or go check out and listen to more podcasts. We've got a ton of stuff that kind of contextualizes a lot of the things that we talked about today. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.